Hello, hello, I am Rangru.
And I'm Graham.
Here today with another 1v1, this time from the Wargame Bootcamp Discord Elite Tournament. We are on the field of Paddy's, who is playing.
So on the left-hand side ring, in the blue corner, we have Sandalman playing as Commonwealth General. In the right, in the red corner, we have Mr. Ghosty playing as Scandinavian General, excuse me. The cherry bomb almost confused me.
Yeah, cherry bomb.
Cherry bomb. Do you like that song?
Yes, a pretty good song.
Oh, really? That's very British of you, I feel like.
Yes.
Well, as we see here, where they starting off a little mortar action for some smoke. Very different from last week's cast already, I would say, Ring, between the two different brackets. But we also see a scout defender along with, that's probably, I'm going to look at the deck. Is that Kustjägers? I don't know what he, no, not Kust.
No,
Yeah,
Fallschirmjäger.
Fallschirmjäger. Yeah, Fallschirmjäger. Yeah.
There's also good Jaegers in the infantry as well, but...
Yep. Yeah, I can't remember which transport you put him in. So we see, Mr. Ghosty trying to step down the far side, which is pretty standard right there. Somebody wants to take control of that, so there's no shenanigans going on your flank. Because if you allow like a helicopter, as we see Sandalman up at the top north there, Ring, it looks like he's going to try and go find the fob, as he told us before the match started.
Indeed, he's very optimistic about that, and he's going like for the far flank.
Yes.
Quite a bloody flank. We'll have to see how that one goes.
Yeah, we'll have to watch out and see what happens, because we see here in the middle, the Challenger 1 Mark IIs is what Stalemate opens up with. Each of them have smoke, whereas Mr. Ghosty has two STRV 121s. So nothing really heavy going down yet for either player. Territorials cut out in the open there. They're going to take some damage and get, there goes one squad he made quick work of. Kind of surprised that there's no real big push into Bravo yet. Seems to be pretty much golf-centered.
Yeah, it's usually, this map always comes down to the Bravo meat grinder, but yeah, we're just seeing that ghost skirmish, and Ghosty has taken a very good position into that forest, and neither side is really fully ready to commit really anywhere. It's just setting up their defensive lines.
Yeah, because you can tell, like, Sandalman doesn't want to, take a frontal engagement right there against the STRV 121s, because at that range, the STRVs will win. Sure, both tanks have the same they're the same armor value, but obviously the 121 with the 23 AP will get the better, I think, of that engagement. So I think if you're Sandal, pivoting to Bravo makes a lot of sense. There really isn't anything there. We see a CV about to go down Charlie. Yeah, and Sandalman had already put his TV in Hotel. Oh, a Challenger 2 actually called out. So I guess maybe we will see a big tank engagement here coming towards Golf.
Yeah, he's going to try and challenge that Golf Center. We're seeing up north, yeah, both sides of helicopters doing some sneaky shenanigans, yeah.
Yeah, on this map, it's actually pretty easy to get a helicopter around on the side. And not necessarily like you see a CV get lost from it, Rang, but I've experienced this in 1v1s myself, is that someone can find your fob and pick it off. As we see right here, Sandalman's already found it. And it's just, when both are general decks as well, it can be so annoying losing your fob early on in the game.
Indeed, and we're also seeing that Lynx Tourney mill going in hot. It might actually pick up his CV if you.
Yeah, honestly, he could pick up the CV if he stops and shoot. Yeah, so he's going to unload right here. He gets the first transport. Is he going to go for the second?
No.
Oh, he doesn't. He's going for the fob. He doesn't realize that there's a CV in there, and that's crazy. And we see another Lynx coming in. The puff called out here by Mr. Ghosty. He's actually going to try and but it takes a weird angle. I guess he shifted targets right there, and that Lynx is going to get in there.
Indeed, and then the second Lynx as well. I wonder if he is just going to try to target the fob or actually go for the CV. Even just blowing up the fob is still a run for.
Okay, so there goes the fob. There is an opportunity if he moves quickly. He could find the CV, though it is armor, so I'm not sure if the Lynx will be able to kill it right away with that many on the rock. Oh, yeah, never mind, doesn't matter. The Swedish A has rolled up and put an end to the rocket Lynx.
Yep, so no CV snipe in this case, but definitely a decent trade. I mean, being able to knock out a fob that early on, especially against a Scandi player, because that will definitely ruin. Does he have bacans? Yes, he does have bacans. So that really limits your effectiveness.
Yeah, they're pretty much null and void, I think, for most of the game right there. They'd be on an extreme shell rationing. While that was going on in Golf, Sandalman did push his Challenger 1s up a little bit, and they kind of got smacked around by the STRV, so he's backing up there. I'm going to have to go ahead and get a repair. But we do see at the same time he's going to cap Alpha. and and then we'll go back to an even here point tick. But he actually did drop the SBS in the back line, which is something to remember. So he might be able to get some work done with that later on in the game.
Yeah, just use that to maybe snipe some transports as they coming up, or even just using them purely for reconnaissance, just to keep an eye on what's being brought up, especially early detection of aircraft. That can prove to be pretty damn useful.
Yeah, and we don't see a lot going on right now. So it's just pretty standard when you get to like the elite level of play. A lot of skirmishing. Oh, the Challenger 2 is making a move though. SBS out in front, 2 of them to basically provide vision and screen here. But there's not really much for him to engage quite yet. So he's just kind of trying to get some positioning.
Yeah, be curious to see how that Challenger 2 does engage. Because at long range, those SCRV 121s can prove to be quite a nasty opponent. There's only one Challenger 2.
Yeah, if he has Challenger 1s up there with him, I'd feel a lot better about the push. Because one Chalet 2 isn't going to beat 2 SCRV 121s. It does have the amazing, 23 frontal armor. Oh. So it's really hard to kill. But the AP, I believe, is actually better. Yeah, it is one better on the 121. Which is kind of funny to think about for the price. Well, a Scout Defender is going in on towards Sandalman's base right there. It's out of rockets, but he's going to try and see if he can spot something of value here. And yeah, that one FV isn't going to be able to stop it right there. Oh, double track Rapier actually called out. Chilling in base by Sandalman.
Yeah, just waiting for that Scout Defender to scout a little bit too far, yeah. He should spot the fob.
HQ. The HQ squad actually opened it up right there, trying to defend the base. I mean, there's no threat of it dying, but something interesting is that it could potentially be a target for artillery. But I guess on the flip side, with the fob gone, I don't know how likely Mr. Ghosty is to call out his beacon.
Oh no, he's fighting Falcon it. Look down south. Going in.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's going in. But the tracked rapiers are in there. The Puff has Puff there to screen as well. The Fighting Falcon dropped the bomb. Oh, but he's dropped the bomb on the fob.
Yeah.
Oh, and the fob lives.
Seed.
Yeah, the fob lives, and the seed does come in, but only gets one of them. Oh, and it might get the Puff.
Oh, no, missed. Buggers off, and yeah, it's very funny. It's just been extreme battles on the flanks, and really anticlimactic in the center of this map. Both sides are just trying to blow up each other's supplies more than anything.
Yeah, they're really concerned about the logistics game right now. Though I wonder, like, long-term, how much work... So the Falcon's expensive along with the Puff, right? And the Puff looked like it was bought out to stop originally to try and stop the helicopters. So the Fob is still alive. I guess you're going to have to repeat that a second time, but you're kind of playing with fire there. I guess maybe the Scout Defender can get there, but I don't think 14 of those 70 mils is enough to finish a half health.
Needs a bit more firepower.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I like that by Mr. Ghosty. That's a lot of points. So the Fighting Falcon there can accrue you a ton of value. But we'll have to wait and see what it does for the rest of the match.
Challenger 2 to snipe the automatic. So I think we're going to have a pretty decisive engagement here. The other 2 Challies are being brought in as well. The SCRV 121s. This is elite. Trevorron's dropping smoke all over the bloody place. So it's going to get deadly.
There's smoke everywhere. Mortar's actually hitting right on top of the ATGM infantry, which is going to be critical. SCRV's pushing out here now. We're going to see an engagement. Challenger 2 takes first hit. It does... Oh, refires. Oh, and a D-track crit there on the SCRV 121 for 56 seconds. If Sandalman takes advantage of this, he could get a decisive advantage here.
Yep, he's moving up the other Challies. They're not doing as much damage, but he's doing very good smoke. I think he might want to just first get in there, push out Challenger 2.
I think so, too. We see a... but the cluster bomber has come out here. The Hornet did try to intercept. It got a hit, but it wasn't able to stop it. It's going to be really... Oh, but the clusters are going to miss, I think, a little bit short. Oh, but the Challengers backed into him.
Oh, but they do survive with barely any HP. One SCRV does go down.
Yep.
That's honestly a very good engagement, for Sandalman.
Yeah, really intense engagement right there. The random crit. I mean, you got to love it right there. Really harming Mr. Ghosty and the SCRV, allowing it to get picked off there by the British armor. And so now the Territorial is going to push forward here. They will get in, I think, into the forest line, but the Fallschirmjäger and the SCRF are probably enough to deal with Territorials.
Yeah, it's really quite funny seeing Territorial spam. You really don't see out all too often. Most people just spam the Fusilier 90s.
Oh, and we actually see... Oh, Mr. Ghosty has another plane. So that's 4 planes, I think, by my count now that Mr. Ghosty has. That's called out there. So yeah, the F-16, and then there comes the Fighting Falcon. I think he's going to go for the roundabout again. Hornet does the evac as well, so there might be an opportunity here. If he's going to try and pick this fob off, it's probably going to be able to do it. You would see a fighter call out here pretty soon. These Challenger 1s are going to get resupplied here, or get repaired. I imagine he'll try and repair the Challenger 2 as well, but I don't think he wants to lose the map presence he has down there right now with it.
Yeah, he needs to at least have something there for long-range firefights. But apart from those challenges, he doesn't really have much else. The Milans are out of ammo, doesn't have any other armored units to provide fire support, and these territorials are just going to get eaten up.
Double track Rapiers were called out. The Fighting Falcon's going in. Rapiers are opening up here, and they get the kill, both hits, and the Fighting Falcon goes down without killing the fob right there. And I think we now can decisively say, Rang, that was not worth it.
No, not at all. And that fob is...
Oh, a bomb did get off. One did actually get off.
The fob still has 5 HP left, so he's not in a terrible state. I don't feel like Ghosty will want to be committing any more planes to that.
No, not after that engagement right there. And then with his own fob being down, the natural response, I think, would be to get a beat can, just shell it to death. But with so little ammo in that beat can, and the fast rate of fire, there's no way he'd be able to support it with just supply trucks.
Yeah, you're really just buying it to blow up at one fob, really.
Yeah, and then at this point, especially with the loss of the F-16, just isn't worth it. These Challengers are about to get repaired here. I'm surprised how long these Territorials have held on. Kustier has flown in to try and provide some support here. Honestly, Sandalman, if he had some decent infantry brought up here, he could probably storm this position.
Yeah, and he also has a second Challenger 2 brought out now, so he has a heavy amount of armor, but he doesn't really have much else. It's just all down to the Challengers. Like you said, the Territorials aren't going to be enough to really, push these positions, especially in the CQC forest fights.
Yeah, absolutely. I would think like 1 or 2, squads of commandos would have been critical there, maybe helping him win the engagement. We see the Voodoo miss its shot there on the Spag. We see a full strike package now coming out from Mr. Ghost, who's doubling down on more aircraft here. MLU, F-16A block, Puff in the backline as well. And so that's kind of a notice there, I think, for Sandalman Rang to, we better watch out because there's an MLU in play.
Yeah, it's definitely going to force him to keep the smokes up so that Challenger does not get blapped. Or Challengers, I should say. But now with those Challengers, especially in that Gulf position, I think he's going to try and actually put pressure onto Foxtrot. And that's a pretty good play. Of course, you can never really fully capture Foxtrot from that side.
Right.
But you can pretty easily neutralize it, especially when you have such, long-range, deadly tanks.
Yeah, and we see he's bringing up what I believe are more Territorials right here. So they're either going to, I'm not sure if he's going to try and send them into the force in Gulf. I mean, he is really close to being able to take Gulf. One really strong push there. He can do it. The problem is I think he's a little scared to push quite on the open there with those tanks because there's a lot of firepower in the air. You still have a cluster bomber and an MLU from Mr. Ghosty that are available to him pretty much on standby. Okay, so the Challengers are getting refueled and repaired. And then he still has the Challenger 1 Mark IIs, which you can bring up. That's a lot of tanks, Ren.
Yeah, he's done a very good job of keeping them alive. Really, for Ghosty, I think he should be trying to maybe push heavy into Bravo, where the Challengers aren't, and then just push heavy infantry, because as he should see right now, it's just territorial spam, and they can barely hold the line. Now, there are some commandos in Bravo, to be fair, but, a good, concise, Scandi infantry push could make some pretty good progress.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart move. It looks like he might be going for that option. He's listening to you secretly in the cast right now because we do see an infantry buyout here. Oh, but the SBS have made their way onto that road there. Oh, and he backs him up. So he's not going to actually engage with the Carl Gustav. Oh, but he's been spotted.
Run away! They're going to go back to the river and escape on boat.
They made it pretty far over there, and that's a nice little notice there for Sandalman. He knows what's coming. There's infantry going into Bravo. He does have commandos, like you said, but mostly it's Territorials. So we'll see how that works out. Challengers are now pushed forward. They are engaging the Fallschirmjäger, trying to push them back as these Territorials try and get in there. I'd really like to see, a little more like better quality infantry here from Sandalman. He would 100% take golf.
Chinook is going in hot. Look at him go.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Oh.
God
I mean, he did go in hot, though.
He did go in hot. Respect to Chinook. He thought he could be an attack helicopter.
Yeah, and Sandalman called out a Chieftain command tank, so that's going to go in here to Bravo roughly around the time that this infantry push is going to go in here for Mr. Ghosty. I think the problem for Ghosty's infantry push is there's no support with it, right? It's only infantry going in right now. So we'll have to see if air support can be brought in. And I think that's the loss of the Fob, once again, that hurts a lot. Everything he uses is kind of rationed when it comes to artillery and support equipment.
Indeed, indeed. And just looking here... I don't know what really... Like, what can he do for SCRV 121? He's backing off right now. He can only really threaten the Challenger 2s with, the F-16 strikes. But once they go down, the Challengers pretty much have free range as long as they don't act too stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we see... I mean, even the Challenger 1 Mark IIs with 2 of them right there, they're enough to dissuade that. And with 2 Challenger 2s... I mean, I think if you're a Sandalman, you want to keep pushing this area, clear up Golf completely, and then threaten... you can pressure then either Foxtrot or the resupply road, I guess, a little bit from Charlie. We see the MLU is called out. But the mortars here in the Territorials, they're buying a ton of time. He's going for the Hornet. He's going real deep right now for the Hornet. But the Stormer's going to engage right here. Oh, but it misses. MLU gets in and out for free right there. Nice pick off there from Mr. Ghosty.
Yeah. That's a great funny, mainly using that as like a fighter plane in and just blapping some poor M113s.
And in response, we see Sandalman buying four mortars right now. So I imagine he's just going to try and use that to grind out the infantry push here in Bravo. And he's been really successful so far. He's pushed back those, or at least stopped the advance of that Scandinavian infantry. We see more Cussiers going to be brought in here. The infantry advantage is so heavily in Mr. Ghosty's favor, but I just don't see yet how that's going to leverage himself to getting a win in the game.
Yeah, he's not really using them effectively in Bravo, and it's also an annoying part in Bravo where it's that choke point strip forest, so those mortars can just do a very good job of shutting that down. It doesn't really have any mobility with his infantry or any armor here to maybe just rush up the hill and get into that position in town, but there's Highlander 90s, and those Arixes will pretty much bugger anything which stand gets too close to him.
Yeah, Highlander 90s are so good. Green infantry unit. We see more Territorials being brought up here. I'm not sure where he's go. They were just in Golf. Smoke being laid. Oh, Mr. Ghosty never noticed the SBS, actually. Oh. So they're still there. That's just provided so much information there for Sandalman. Yeah, even more aircraft. Strike package going out right there. Definitely 11C, but there's 2 fighter planes with the air, and it gets knocked right out of the sky. The Aardvark's going down.
The Voodoo as well.
The Voodoo goes down as well. Really heavy plane losses right there by Sandalman.
Indeed, indeed. And Ghosty's done a very good job of keeping his aircraft alive. It's just he's having a hard time actually using them against the heavy armor threat to shoot his fantastic, constant smoke coverage here from Sandalman.
Yeah, these Territorials, I mean, this is the 3rd time Sandalman's going to go for this. We're going to see Territorials push up in front, Challenger 2s in the back. Now he's calling out Warrior 90s that are going to have better British infantry inside of them. But I really feel like he might as well just wait at this point.
Yep. We're seeing the automatic provide fire support, knocking out those Territorials, ATGMs. Be warding off run of the Challenger 2s. Did one dive. Get blapped? Yeah. I think I was side-shotted, yeah.
Yeah, 100% it got side-shotted.
Wow.
Really nice hit there by the Mon 2 and the SCRVs, but yeah, it definitely did.
That's a really good pick-off here from Ghosty. Yep. Flew right under my radar.
You don't see when did he get it?
I think it was just now.
Yeah, must have been right there in that engagement with the SCRV.
Smoke.
Yeah, he pushed out that smoke right there and took a nasty engagement. And so we see the Challenger 2 still backing up. I mean, the armor advantage is still heavily in Sandalman's favor. He does still have the 2 Mark IIs, but the time of pushing that and easily taking it is kind of going away because we see ATGMs. I mean, there's Cussiers, there's Fallschirmjäger. And so the Challenger 2, he needs to back it up. There's a the Swedish ATGM infantry has a side shot on it. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, he's gonna reverse it.
Yeah, it feels like Sandal's really messed up his opportunity to attack. He's just been pinned down and go. He's been trading efficiently here.
But the MLU does dive in. Oh, but the rapier are turned off because of the puff, so he isn't able to get a kit on it or get any hits on it. We'll see if he turns the rapiers on now. He might be able to get the puff here. One hit.
No.
Yep. Oh, no.
It got out. It got out.
Yep, right as an evac got the hit.
Wow. Yeah, Sandal's just been pinned down in Gulf. He hasn't been able to really gain any territory, even though he's been trading efficiently. And we are seeing Ghosty actually build up a pretty deadly force here in Bravo now, and even bringing up a CV to stop that slow plus run.
Yeah, the problem with the angle there is, like, how do you make that push can be so hard to make, even with better infantry, and the mortars are just buying so much time and just delaying in the action. But this will stop Sandalman's point tick, which Ghosty needs to do at this point in the game. We're sub 20 minutes. And, so you really want to kind of stop your opponent's lead there, or point tick there.
Mm-hmm.
These challengers will be repaired. I mean, the Fusilier 90s are pushing up. The Warrior 90s, I guess, they got blacked, huh? I guess so. I don't know what.
Yes.
Where'd they go? They ditched? They leave the battlefield?
I mean, to be fair, if you had like a Rod and 30, I wouldn't really want to be on the battlefield.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to either. And we see right there, the MG3 just shredding those Fusilier 90s right there at range. Just absolutely getting annihilated. Okay, Lynx coming in to help clean up there. So, I mean, that southern end of that area of Foxtrot is vulnerable right there for Sandalman. If you want to maybe go there and try and sneak a CV in. Oh, he's bringing a Chieftain command tank for golf. Well, I don't know if I like that, because the push is going in now into Bravo. More Commandos 90 are brought up here. Casualties will be heavy for Mr. Ghosty, but I think brute force might just win the day.
Yeah, and I love, once again, he's using the Chinooks as close range support, because Sandalman doesn't have a whole lot of close range anti-air, and that Chinook's actually providing
the minigun's tearing it up. It's like Call of Duty right now.
It is. He just got like the kill streak.
He got the chopper gunner. It just came in real hot in the Chinook. MLU diving in. Oh, there's no smoke on the Challenger too. It does take one hit. The other one misses. Rapiers are opening up, trying to get hits. One hit on the MLU. I think it's going to get away though.
Ooh.
Oh no, he got it. Right. This time the evac didn't save him. Nope, MLU down. Challenger 2 still alive. Big trade there for Sandalman.
Yeah, definitely a very good pick off here. And we're seeing the Bravo push now after Leopard C2 being brought on up is getting halted for the time being.
Yeah, the Nexus coming in really clutch right there. Oh, another plane going down there to the Rapiers as well. I didn't catch what it was. Was that an F-16? It was.
Damn. Very good pickoffs here from Sandalman.
Yeah, really good. You really turned the engagement around right there. I do think that that was the Rockeye, clusters. So the Challenger 2 did go down, but he still has plenty of Challenger 1 Mark IIs, and I think that gives him the armor. I mean, with only one STRV on the field rank, I don't see. Oh, and it's only got 1 HP. I didn't even notice that. It got slapped by something.
Yeah, and there's also only one MOU in Ghosty's deck.
Yeah.
So there's not too much anti-armor. I mean, the cluster bombs can still bugger up, but I don't believe
just one more.
Yeah,
just one more.
So he's in a very good spot, even though he just lost both Charlie 2s, like you said.
Yeah, and Mr. Ghosty's ability to now push into golf is severely threatened. The Chieftain getting detracked. And actually, it's out of the smoke. He's going to smoke that up because he might get Oh, and it isn't, because it still has the move order. It's not actually capping the point in golf.
Oh, it's detracked. Oh,
yeah. The funny little thing sometimes you see in Wargame. But smoke is going down right there to cover. Those Challenger 1 Mark IIs are pushing up. He's bringing up another Mark II as well. I mean, I think if he really wanted to, like, once again, he could totally take the area. I mean, look at all the mortars he has just dropping everywhere.
Jesus Christ. And he has the FOB up and running still, and as you can see, he's been using it heavily.
Yeah.
If Ghosty blew up at FOB, he'd probably been able to make his Bravo push sooner. Just because those mortars have just been shutting him down every time.
Yeah, and he's been, driving his truck back and forth, or sometimes even the other mortars. They've all been getting a lot of fire, and you can just see there's a ton of them right there. Fennec 2 actually pushing out here, trying to get a snipe with the TO2 on some of these challengers. I'm not sure if it has the... Yeah, just instantly blapped right there. The challengers are kind of in the open, though. And there's no smoke. He hasn't queued up the order yet. There is an opportunity... Yeah, just mega blap. Okay, they're backing up now. He's going to need some more resupply, actually.
For one gets picked off.
Yeah, SCRV pushing up there. Really nice pick.
Oh, this could be actually a good push here from Ghosty. The other challengers low on HP isn't... Okay, it's more challenger reinforcements. But in one-on-runs, these 1-2 runs can be the run which comes out on top.
Yeah, definitely. It's the 1-2-1 is the better tank. Though with multiple Challenger 1 Mark IIs, the nice thing about it is that it does have the 19 frontal armor, right? So he can, especially if he gets close, trade very well against the 1-2-1s, but that 1-2-1 microed appropriately should win, most of the time against those.
Yep, and I also think with this push here, he can kind of spread out his infantry a bit. Yes, out in the open, but it means they don't get immediately blapped by mortars. And now it gets a second.
Yeah, now the CV's on the front line right here. It's opening up. It's going to get hit right there by the ATGM. And this push is going in really strong there. SCRV's down to 1 HP. Ooh. This is the second time that SCRV's been on 1 HP. It's going to get away, I think. The challenger doesn't see it. Yeah. Wow.
Very good trade, yeah. And that's going to allow Ghosty to get into the all-important ghost town there of his infantry.
Yeah, he needs them. Oh, the challenger actually getting the Kustjägers, though, as they walk open. And the Lynx getting shots into the Fallschirmjäger as well. If he could stop them from getting in there and kill all that infantry. Oh, he might. That could be big for him. Oh, but the Mexus goes down right there. The Fennec Toe 2.
He gets so close.
Yeah, there's stuff going on everywhere. Yeah, it gets black. That Stormer just putting in work right there with the Star Streak. We see the LVK, LVK V90 right there, trying to get the recon chopper. More territorials being called in. The mortars haven't actually been queued to fire anything for a minute. And you notice that they've been really critical in Sandalman keeping an advantage in this game. But when they're not shooting, there they go. They're going to start. His firepower is lacking outside of those.
He's lost a lot of tanks now, and also some very good territory, because it's going to require quite a bit of pushing, and not just with territorials to try and retake his ghost point. He's bringing a bit more fire support with the scimitars, but, well, rather than 30mm cannon, it's barely like an entry-level member of the autocannon.
Yeah. Entry-level. Oh, the SGRV getting targeted by the mortars here. It is on 1 HP. Oh, and it's done stabilization malfunctioning as well. This is the time for the challenger twos if they can get an engagement here. He's trying to back it up. It is so damaged. Ghosty did overextend a little bit, I think. Kustjäger's getting taken down. I think there's an opportunity here for Sandalman to finally get the W here in golf.
Yeah, and we are seeing Ghosty has invested in the CV because it's at the point where he really needs to start bringing in that +1 tick. So that is just an opportunity now for Sandor to make his push.
Yeah, we can see Sandalman actually, not Sandalman, Mr. Ghosty relying on STRV to try for his armor support now, and they will not trade very well, I don't think, against those Challenger Mark 1s. So that 1 HP, he really needs to get that STRV back prepared. But he, okay, now he is. He's finally started. Yep, there it goes.
And now with all of Ghosty's forces pretty much huddled up in the forest, they can just pound the forest and really get some good trade here. And as we're seeing, Sandalman has managed to actually, once you brought up the challenges, get go. Oh God, he's sending it.
Yeah, he said, "F it, I'm going in." Oh, he stopped there.
Oh, ATGM from the north is going to get a
hit.
He's
going to turn. It's going to get a side. Oh, it missed.
F1 run C. The nuke fuck.
Yeah, the nuke going in right there. Electric Voodoo providing cover right there with the strike, and it absolutely annihilates the CV right there. And that SCRV is down. Oh no, it's not down. It's still there on 1 HP. He missed it. He got the CV.
Funny, I've been watching these mortars try to blow up ATGM infantry.
Yes, they
can't kill this one guy.
This one dude is the hero of Scandinavia. It's like they hit everywhere but... Okay, there he goes. He did. Right as you brought attention to him, Rang,
I know.
He bit the
I got him
dust there.
killed.
You did get him
my
killed.
fault.
It's your fault. You need to live with that shame and guilt for the rest of your life.
I will. I'm over it now. Okay, we can continue.
Oh, you've already moved on?
Yeah.
Well, then we see the mortars immediately turning right back to the push in Bravo. And I really feel like Mr. Ghosty missed an opportunity there in Bravo. It's just, it is hard though. Like there's no doubting that. But there was such a huge infantry advantage for him, and the mortars just really held him back.
Yeah, if he just, it is hard pushing into Bravo, especially for your infantry unloaded, because you have to go through the choke point forest. He couldn't. Maybe if he tried some more armored maneuvers around the north of Bravo and get into Alpha from there, he would have had a bit of a better chance, but at the same time, he's also so tied down in Gulf trying to challenge a challenger's array.
Well, I think another big thing is that the F-16, you know, dying trying to kill the Fob, which it was unable to kill, right? It never accomplished that mission. It could have been really valuable in supporting an infantry push onto that hill there in Bravo. Because Mr. Ghost, I mean, Sandalman kept all that infantry clumped up. Like, it never separated. That F-16 could have wiped out multiple squads in one go-round, and that really could have changed the dynamic of the game. But instead, that Norwegian, unfortunately, died right there by Delta.
Yeah. But also just having the Bacans out. This is actually a very good map for the heavy artillery, because it's so choke pointy. He could be returning fire in Bravo and actually getting some pretty good hits.
Yeah, and losing the and it's just a big thing right there on this map specifically too. I think Rang is like you talked about. Heavy artillery can be so valuable. We've seen it time and time again. And with one player able, I mean, that Fob has gotten full use there from Sandalman. It's almost completely empty right there, still on 5 HP, and you can't help but think that's been a decisive reason why he's going to walk away with the win here.
Yeah, the logistics are king.
Like, it's just so hard to see, like, where does Sandalman, or where does Mr. Ghosty, the momentum's completely gone against him. Yeah, that SRV just got clapped once again. I mean, a little more infantry support there, be a little bit better. Oh, the SRV does peek out there and gets a really nice shot there on the Challenger, but the mortars are just everywhere, nonstop.
The nuke
oh, and the nuke fuck is coming in, and that might be all she wrote, and that's it.
Yeah. I miss. Yeah, the nuke fuck no longer has 8,000 kilograms of bombs. Now it's like a mini nuke fuck.
Yeah, it's not quite as intense, right?
But damn, that was a pretty good. Honestly, I really could have gone back or forth. There's definitely key moments where both sides could have, especially Ghosty, could have pushed on through. But like we mentioned, that Fob kill was actually quite a big deal.
It was. It ended up being really decisive in the game right there, and determining that outcome. And I do think I agree with you as well. I think there was a portion where it felt like it could have gone either way. But the big engagement where the MLU and the cluster bomber went down, and there was just no ability, I think, from Mr. Ghosty to follow it up. Like, he was kind of all in with that infantry push plus the one STRV. And even though, I think his tank play was better over the course of the game, just there were so many challengers, he couldn't kill them all, right? And the push into Bravo just never was able to work, and really didn't cause Sandalman to change his attention too much.
Yeah, he could just afford to fight at raw attrition in the Gulf point because he kind of had the supplies. Who would have thought? I'm actually quite happy this match kind of comes down to supplies. That's a fun dynamic.
Logistics wins wars, Rangru.
Yeah, it's very American of you.
And there was also no chopper rush.
Well,
oh no, you think there might have been chopper rush in base?
Yeah, it wasn't really a chopper rush. No.
It was a tactical outplay, right?
It was actually a very good tactical outplay. With very cheap and effective use. And the SBS stayed alive that entire time.
That's insane. The SBS living the whole time. After being shot at, too. That's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Very good game, though.
Very good
really
game.
entertaining. GG's to both players, for sure.
Indeed. And thank you once again, Graham, for joining.
Absolutely, good sir.
And on that note, thank you, the viewer at home, for watching. And as usual, take it easy.